So this is my story of when I really just got my shit together. So I apologize if this speech is lacking the usual embellishments or Sonia flair that you've probably come to expect from my speeches, just with everything that's going on. I'm a little unmotivated and a little not feeling myself. But nevertheless, this is an important story to me and I'm excited to share it with you guys. So, like I said, this is the story of just me really just figuring out my life, I would like to think. And it's all about this past January, so January 2020, which is a really big turning point in my life, in regards to where is it going, what am I doing with my life, and all that good stuff. And it's not that uncommon for like your junior year, kind of around this time, so like the same age I am, to start figuring out what you're gonna do with your life, your future, your plans. But that doesn't make it any less stressful, and it doesn't make it any less of a big deal. So yeah, I was a very average kid, right? I think I've talked about this, but in every way imaginable. Average at sports, average in popularity, like all that stuff. But most importantly, and what sucked the most, is I have always been really average in school. I'm not the smartest, and I never really tried particularly the hardest by any means. And I didn't have a lot of drive, passion, all that stuff. I just kind of like floated by. I would pretend I was smarter than I was, especially to my parents. But however, I have grown a lot in the past few years. You grow up and you realize things and you just become a better, more grown-up version of yourself. And I came to the excruciatingly painful realization that my parents, who, like I've talked to, are my best friends, my like heroes, they both obtained really high levels of education, and then they immigrated here to the United States from all the way from India, all by themselves, with no family or anyone here to look out for them, living paycheck to paycheck with just like one box of belongings. They moved here at first. And then they raised 2 kids while going back to school and getting more education, like obtaining a life where like their kids or grandkids will never have to worry about money for the most part. Like, just for me, all for me to be this like lazy teenager who had no ambition or like no idea what she wanted to like just the worst. I was the worst. I was more concerned with like getting my third like Starbucks of the day and just dumb stuff like that, and not realizing I had so many opportunities and I was just wasting them. So that was a tough pill to swallow. But as you grow up, you realize that kind of stuff. You just do. And I got this super cool internship my senior year of high school, blah, blah, blah. I was more motivated in college. And so then comes this month, right? This day, to be specific, in January 2020. 4 months ago. And winter break, it was the worst because I took summer classes this past summer. So for the first time in forever, basically I genuinely had nothing to do. No class, work, nothing. And it really brought to my attention that the unbelievable growth I had gone through in life. Like, since getting closer to realizing what I want to do, growing up, and growing closer with my parents and gaining more responsibilities, like volunteering in the hospital, and just like all that good stuff, since making amazing friends who like pushed me to be better, I had realized that I was no longer someone who was happy with doing the bare minimum. I valued the hustle, hard work more than ever, and challenging myself. I was going stir crazy, just sitting in my basement all day long doing nothing. And it reminds me that there was a time not too long ago where I would have loved that, having no responsibilities, nowhere to be, nothing to do, no homework. And now that's not me anymore, I want to be even half as hardworking as my parents or like my brilliant friends. And to make them proud, to make myself proud, I, see real potential in myself. And I know what I want to do with my life. And so I'm realizing this, and here comes, what was it? It was January 6th, 2020. I pulled out my laptop and I start applying for like every internship, every healthcare related job or research lab, and I just sat there and I wrote cover letter after cover letter. And I just did that like for like 3 days straight. And today I stand here, a volunteer at the hospital in the electroconvulsive therapy department, a student at the University of Iowa River Landing Clinic, one of the largest in the area, undergraduate research assistant for the internal medicine department through University of Iowa Healthcare. Like I don't know. I really did that. I just sat there and I was like, this is not my life anymore. I have to start planning my future and all that good stuff. And now I sit here in April 2020, and even though the world is literally falling apart, I finally feel like I have my shit together. And for that, I'm grateful. Okay, this turned out a little long. Sorry.